vi gledate Preduzimanje. Moj današnji gost je Ippel, koji je u prethodne 2 nedelje bio u poseti Balkanu i različitim organizacijama koje pomažu preduzetnicima, a koja su njegova zapažanja, čućete sad.
So my name is Ippel, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Spring, Start School for entrepreneurs who want to change the world. We're headquartered in Vancouver, BC, and we have city partners in over 30 cities around the world. I think for me, I see a couple of challenges that are occurring. So one is really being able to clearly identify the market and being confident about doing customer discovery and market research, I think is probably one challenge. And part of that I know is cultural, and part of it is gaining in that experience of being an entrepreneur and the requirement to do that. And then I think in addition, access to capital is a challenge that exists in the marketplace. And so the benefit for the market here is that people, I think, are much stronger at bootstrapping their businesses. But hopefully over time, and access to capital will really start to grow. There will be more options available, more sector specific. So right now, that tends to be a big challenge. Yeah, so I think if you ask me the question, what is the state of Belgrade today as an entrepreneurial ecosystem, and what can be learned from another ecosystem like Vancouver, it's probably a couple of things. I think one is that the entrepreneurial ecosystem is not one sector. It's not just tech. It's not just retail. There's many different industries and many different ways of doing business. And I think an ecosystem really needs to be able to support all of those opportunities to actually grow well and relatively quickly at the same time. I think that that's a big part of it. I think the other piece I think that can be learned from Vancouver is how the ecosystem partners themselves evolve, the support organizations, and how they learn to work together, not only to benefit individual entrepreneurs, but also to the benefit of expanding and growing the ecosystem. So learning that there can be segmentation in the ecosystem partners, that it's not competitive, that there can be a lot of collaboration and opportunity to do so, I think is really important. Yeah, I think there's probably a few things. Opportunities for investment with small amounts of capital, as small as 500 euros, to start micro enterprises. Trying to, as a second point, I would say, trying to foster businesses that can be run while people also still have day jobs. So let's call them moonlighting enterprises or part-time enterprises, to get a feel for what it means to be an entrepreneur, but then also to do it with some confidence and do it with some safety. Another key piece, I think, is to start to look at some events and some programs that foster awareness and this sort of inspirational notion of entrepreneurship. And so I think of things like hackathons, idea days, developer training days, pop-up markets for early stage bricks and mortar businesses or early stage retail businesses. These are some tools that I think the marketplace can really use. In addition, I would definitely recommend running events where ecosystem partners come together to run a single event. So that can be incubators, accelerators, and funders would be an example that I would give. Another key place, I think, to develop the ecosystem is to try and find some corporate partners who can support ecosystem players, but then also possibly can help facilitate additional co-working spaces as the market starts to become aware of the value of co-working. And so that it's really important, I think, to keep a close eye on that and to try and expand that kind of space. And the last one that I would recommend is a maker space. And so a maker space is specifically targeted at people who do trades, crafts, and work with equipment. So everything from laser cutters to 3D printers to saws and lathes and workbenches, etc. That is a critical part of, I think, an entrepreneurial ecosystem to add. Yeah, I mean, there's, honestly, even after a few days, I think there's a few things that I would share. So one is that the inherent characteristics of the region are perfectly suited for entrepreneurship. And so here's what I mean by that. The entrepreneurs that I've met here have a strong ability to persevere. It's just built into the culture, it's built into the history. And then you combine that with what historically has been a necessity to bootstrap and to fund the business through revenue and to fund the business in creative ways. And those two things combined make for very strong entrepreneurs. And so I think that is definitely a key takeaway. And the other piece, if I were to give as advice to the region, is to my earlier point about seeking help. The reality is there are people all over the world who are entrepreneurs who have been there and done that. And through the power of things like LinkedIn and Skype and Viber and many other tools, there is a way to reach out to those people and seek that advice and seek that help. And I think it's important for the people of this region to know that people do want to help. And it's just a matter of asking. And I think when people start to ask, they'll find themselves pleasantly surprised that there's a lot of great entrepreneurs out there, investors and other people who are willing to help. Yeah.